So if I want to be a husband's girl, because that's what I am, I'm all about my man, my man, my man. Do you understand? Then I'm going to do that.
She's living a good life. Look at that. Look at her husband.
Of which are single over the age of 30. I just want women to know that they have other options out there.
So I am sorry that you are so lonely and so miserable and so twisted up ugly inside, making no one want to be around you. I just want to point out to you snaggletooth some bitches who decided that in the comments of one of my videos where I was praising my husband for being a good man, where you guys were like, you're obsessed with him. You should really figure out how to not be around him like that because it's good to be independent. You have a man. So if I want to be a husband's girl, because that's what I am, I'm all about my man, my man, my man. Do you understand? Then I'm going to do that. If I decide to get up on here and praise him because he decided to take care of me the way that God sees fit, then I will. And you sorry, miserable can suck my cheeks from left to right and then in a circle. And then after, matter of fact, you can kiss my waist to Sunday and twice on a day. All right? Because at the end of the day, I don't understand for the life of me what type of miserable you have to be to decide to go to somebody's video where they are happily married to a person who loves them and then spew such hatred and it makes 0% of sense to me. So I'm gonna go back in and kiss up and love up on my husband because I have a man. Have a day.
She said it. Women, ladies that can't keep a man. That's why. That's why they're doing that, right? The woman is showing her husband appreciation. That's why she has one. Now, this lady's a trad wife, and I respect her because, as you can see, she takes pride in being a trad wife. But you know what happens? When you go to the old school way, the way it's supposed to be, the original way, maybe even, because I saw a kid is young now, maybe even the kid gets a little bit older and she homeschools the kid. Believe it or not, that's the best way of education. If you look it up, you can see it. That's actually God's original way. So nothing's wrong. Everything going on, nothing's wrong. And I respect her for being the way she is. She shows that there's still a sprinkle, a teensy-weensy bit of black women that are still of the elk. So many are long gone. She shows that there's a little bit left behind. Congrats to you, sister. Watch this. Watch that ahead. Check this. So it says, since some of y'all think I'm lying about the comments I receive from the bitter and lonely of the world. So she shows us. It says, honey, you don't pay because you have no money. Stop glorifying being a house slave. Do you have access to all financial accounts? Do you know every financial account and how all money is spent? Or do you have to ask first? Everything is about money. Everything. Like, no, she's following the original way it's supposed to be and hate it for it. Like, they're on the side of the establishment that first push for ladies to go to work. Look at this. She's upset. She's livid. Look at her. She can't believe it. But this is what happens. When you go with the original plan, you're seen as an imbecile. That's what they take her as. But I see nothing wrong with it. If the man, this is the thing, right? If you bring your expenses down to nothing, or if he makes enough money, what's the problem? Why do you need to be checking? Oh, honey, what's coming in? Oh, honey, what's going out? There's no need for that. Look at this. This is what I love about her. Now, her man makes sure she's happy. Look at her. He buys her dresses. She has, I would say, maybe 30, 40, 50, unlimited amount of these kind of videos. The man continuously buys her these sundresses that you see girls wear, like the country girls, right? That's who he buys her. Over and over and over. And she's happy to wear them. Look at her modeling them. Showing them off. And she's showing she's happy to do what she does. The life of an apparent slave. Watch this. Take a look at it. If she doesn't mind doing it, what is the issue? Look at her. She's in her element. She's a stay-at-home wife, a trad wife, in her element. She enjoys this. Watch how she's taking care of the kid. Look, she gets to play her games. As you see, I'm clearly mistreated. She's a gamer. Look at her feeding her daughter, her daughter, watching cartoons, living it up. And what's the big deal? She gets to read her books. If that's slavery to me, she's living a good life. Look at that. Look at her husband grabbing on her. Look what he does. This is the life. This is the life most of you want. Like, you want a guy to do this for you, but you don't want to put in the work. Yes, you got to put in the work. She's clearly putting in the work. I respect it.
The last video I made to this got guidelined. So I'm going to try to say this as feminine, as quiet, and as respectful as possible. Ma'am, I am someone's wife. My husband, the man who is outside working for this home and for this family, loves me more than life itself and does not play about me. So I am sorry that you are so lonely and so miserable and so twisted up ugly inside that your ugly that's in here has started to show on the outside, making no one want to be around you.
Emotional, damn it!
So I get that life must be hard for you. And I'm sorry for that. But me, I'm going to keep on loving the man that loves me and does right by me. I'm going to keep on being submissive to him. I'm going to keep on loving him until God sees fit that I don't. You may call me a slave. I call myself happy. Isn't that wild? Have a day.
Yeah, she is happy. She's a happily married woman. And they don't know how to be happy for her. Because they're lonely and miserable because I'm going to get the bag. I'm getting money. Meanwhile, they coming home complaining every day. They getting on TikTok saying, I need a man to do this for me. No man is doing this for me. I'm still single. I'm still single. Video after video. Think about what you see from the others that think the opposite way. Do they look happy? They look pretty miserable to me. I see video after video saying the same thing. Try the old school way. Try to be submissive to a man. Try to make a man actually smile. Doing things that she's doing makes a man actually smile. He buys her a sundress. She goes, puts it on. Probably does all kinds of other things I don't want to talk about. That's a married couple. Right? Give them their space. But that's what it's about. This is why, I gotta say it, this is why I chose to get my passport and go overseas. I said it. Why? Because there's not many left. Look how she gets embarrassed. Not embarrassed, because they're really embarrassing themselves. But look how they talk about her. Call her a slave. And I'm sure if she sees this video, she'll understand exactly why I left. And exactly why guys are leaving. Because they have to. Because there are women like her left. Not many. So guys are gone.
If you're a feminist at this point in time, you're a clown, right? There's a lot of assumptions, right? I do this for a brand. I do this because I'm uneducated. I do this because I'm lazy. And then, you know, there's that fun racial element. My favorite racial joke that I've gotten was lady in the streets colonized in the sheets. I thought that was really creative.
They also called me a white supremacist. And I was like, okay, I'm dating a Latina woman and I'm a white supremacist.
There are feminists on Reddit who hate me, most of which are single over the age of 30. I just want women to know that they have other options out there. Sometimes I've been accused of being a gold digger.
She asked for $100 a week. What kind of gold digger wants that?
$100 a week. And she took it with a smile. You know what's funny? She probably stacked that $100 a week up so far because I'm sure her husband gives her anything she wants. So that's her money she gets to put away for herself. I bet you over the course of, think about it, $400 a month, right? You add that up over 12 months, that's $4,800. It's not bad. When you add it up to the efferness out there, right? Add up, she's not spending, he's buying everything, right? She's keeping the home, her pay for herself, $4,800 a year. Say if she stacked it for 2 years, $9,600. Stack it for 3 years. What is that? Come on now, keep counting it up. Stack it up for 4 years. It's not that bad when you keep stacking it, right? When you do the math on that and go, wow, that's kind of right. When you get to 4, 5, 6 years, you're like, whoa, she stacked up a pretty penny. Yes, all being a housewife. When you're willing to go lower, you go higher. Some may not see it that way, but I do, because the small things matter.
I just got off the phone with a friend of mine who has been married for about 15 years now. Before she got married, she got a master's degree in education and a law degree. She met her husband in law school. He wanted a traditional wife. She did not take the bar, and instead they got married. He took the bar. He passed the bar. He became a lawyer, and she became a full-time housewife and later a mom. Times 5. They have 5 children. Okay, fast forward 15 years, where he has been cheating on her for years. She finally caught him red-handed. She has enough confidence and determination to say, I want a divorce, I'm done. He's walking away with a $300,000+ job that he got, by the way, from one of her mom friends in a mom group. Let's just put that aside. She has nothing. She has 2 advanced degrees, 0 experience. So are they even worthwhile? Are they even worth anything? She has nothing to show for it. And in the last 15 years, what has changed in law and in education? Probably quite a bit. So she is stuck at this crossroads of feeling like she has nothing. And before you say alimony, he is trying to screw her out of everything he possibly can. She cannot keep the house, even though she has primary custody of the children. She can't afford it. She has no job. Absolutely no job right now. And even if she did, there are 5 children. So between drop-offs and pickups at 4 different schools, she has about 3 hours in the daytime when she is not tending to children. So to any woman who is considering that the trad wife lifestyle might be it for you, I encourage you to think about this story. Remember it. And just remember that you as a woman need to have something for yourself. If anything, just for yourself, because you absolutely never know what can happen in life, whether it be divorce, whether it be cheating, whether it be the passing away of your spouse. You have to take care of yourself and put yourself first. You can still love and support your husband and be an incredible wife who takes care of your man, but take care of yourself first.
One situation, right? There are cheaters out there, but so I don't see the problem, right? She needs to take the steps to make sure he gets served the right way, right? Let me say it like this. With all the divorces happening now, she needs to get a good divorce attorney and bring it to him. Yes, he's a lawyer, but I didn't hear you say she signed a prenup. I didn't hear you say certain things. So if that's not the case, she can get the bag, right? So many women nowadays are getting their bag. Look, I can't feel sorry for your friend. That's unfortunate what happened to her, but that's not everybody's case. Like the other girls, their man is still faithful to them. They haven't found anything. So what are you saying? You need more convincing than that.
You want enough money to where all of your needs and most of your wants are taken care of at a job where you have enough time and energy left over to pursue your hobbies, interests, and goals. That's it. That's all. You might not think about it because you've never known life without it, but you like having the ability to live independently and take care of yourself. You like being able to open a bank account or get a credit card without your husband's permission. You like having the money and the resources to be able to leave a relationship, not only when it becomes unsafe or dangerous for you, but simply because you want out. You like not...
The wild thing what she's saying, you can do that with a husband. You can get a bank account with a husband and say, I want a separate bank account. If the husband says no, He's a jerk off.
Not having to make every single thing you consume from scratch, just as much as you like knowing that you have the ability and resources to do so if you so choose. You like the idea of having kids if you have the money and resource to do so, as much as you like being able to say no if you don't. Okay, capitalism is burning you out. You are overworked and underpaid, and it makes this idea of a life where you are well taken care of and well supported sound real appealing. But all that's happening is that conservatives are repackaging and reselling you the very life your grandmother fought tooth and nail to get away from. You like being able to have a job, babe. You like being able to make your own money. You like that independence. What you don't like is being burnt out by capitalism, and those are actually two separate conversations. Do not get caught up in a far-right pipeline because you are desperate for the economic freedom that you so rightfully deserve.
Betting it. They come younger and younger every day. What do you give her? Younger 20s, right? They got her. So she's preaching this. She probably got paid a commission from the secret society of keep feminism alive. She got paid by them to push this nonsense on TikTok. So all the women can say, yeah, that's right. Let's do a march next week.
Problems when you romanticize a 1950s homemaker aesthetic. Coming from someone who's a full-time stay-at-home mom, homemaker, who loves a vintage moment. The reason videos like this can be met with negative response is because it's erasing the entire domestic labor force that was depended upon by these upper middle class white stay-at-home moms. The traditional housewife of the 1950s, 1960s was never meant to do everything by themselves. They always had domestic labor. And honestly, since the Industrial Revolution, these ideas of ornamental upper-class white housewives were an offshoot and a demonstration of their husband's wealth. So these were not women who were expected to lift a finger. And yes, we can idealize the fashions and the styles of the 1950s and still enjoy being stay-at-home wives and homemakers and mothers, while acknowledging the labor that made that possible.
About trad wives. What is this thing where in order to be a woman that's respected, you have to be like a CEO? Being a boss is so humiliating. You aren't allowed to make jokes. Everyone is mad at you. You can also only eat according to the 22-year-old's gluten allergy in the office. The 22-year-old who has some gluten thing decides what everyone eats for lunch. I have to go ask the 20-year-old, may I have this peanut? Is this peanut gonna give you a runny nose or can I have it? So it's not okay to submit to your husband, but it is okay to submit to some 22-year-old that you pay. I'm the boss. I'm asking this 22-year-old what I can eat. Now I'm in the movie Baby Girl. Like, no one thinks this is weird. All of your employees will say that you're emotionally abusing them if you're the boss. If you imply that you might know more about the company you run. You're their hero until you do the thing that made you become their hero, and then you'll be accused of being toxic. Why would any woman want to leave their house ever again? I would rather milk a cow and fake laugh at my husband's jokes than have to go through that nightmare.
She's right, but she's living the upper echelon of it, and even if you're not, these women are still happy, right? Now, I get what she's saying, because you're submissive. You're going to be submissive to someone. Why not your husband? Makes perfect sense. You're asking a lady, hey, can I have these peanuts? You know, hey, boss, when is that due? Okay, I get a week. You're being submissive to him. You see, especially, I'm sorry, I gotta call it like I see it. Especially in the community, right? You have women who are so disrespectful to their husbands, and then go to work and, oh, okay, sir, straighten it up, no cursing at home. Motherfucker! Ah! Let me look at the comments. These comments out. It says, the disrespect to trad wives is more about them usually supporting politics that directly hurt women. And they do hurt women. She's not wrong. Raising a family is a full-time job and super important to our future. It is, because a lot of times, especially I'm sure her kids may be homeschooled. If that's the case, those kids are getting the best education. Like, they'll probably be graduating high school early. Have you ever heard that? Like, kids that are usually homeschooled, they're focused more on a curriculum. So they're graduating at 15, 14 years old. Crazy things. And she said, bravo. Why is this not celebrated? And take a look what the next one says. It says, nothing wrong with trad wives. Feminism is women being whatever they want to be without barriers. They vote to keep those barriers. So true. That's what it's about. Women supporting each other no matter what. Support these women. Stop fighting these women. It looks wild, like what's going on nowadays in society. It's crazy. But it's time to get it back to where it used to be.
I'm so done with these trad wives or just wannabe trad wives who make verifiably false claims about feminism and what it supports and try to say that feminism does not support women, you know, being a homemaker and taking care of their kids and running a home and not working. It's ridiculous. 100% false. And how would the feminist movement have even, you know, persisted if that was the case? Ridiculous. I don't have time to go into the full thing right now, but first of all, do better. Second of all, I think the reason that some of y'all are making these false claims is because you don't feel very secure about how your lives are. And maybe you don't feel like you could have a job in the working world of a certain caliber, or maybe you don't feel like you could go to college. I don't know. But in my experience, when people are very lashing out in these ways and making completely false statements and, you know, disparaging movements that they benefit from, insecurity can be a big cause of that. So please do better and look at your own lives. And you really are doing a lot of harm to a lot of people by propagating this false information.
Actually, it's usually the feminists that do that, right? You notice they always backtracking on what they say, and then they get called out, and they get stuck all the time. It's wild. Every video you see a feminist getting stuck. It's ridiculous.
The parents with the big age gap kids gotta be stopped. Why the I'm out. How old are you, sir?
3.
And I'm 27. Sir, what are you to me? I'm your what?
I'm your sister.
No, I'm your sister? You my what?
I'm your brother.
And how old are you? Big dog. What's your name?
Shadrach.
What's my name?
Diana.
Why the 27 riding around with my 3-year-old brother? Is that your son? No, it's not my fucking son.
And Dravis her son.
Dravis is my son. How old is my son?
5.
Almost. My son is 6. My son's 6, and my little brother is 3. Dreana, Dravis, and Sir Dre. That's the team. He ain't even in school, so what we doing? Playing parent to my little brother. My kid's in school. My kid's big enough to be in school. Why the little brother not big enough to be in school? That's why I say, what are you parents doing nowadays? What the hell are you parents doing nowadays? Having these kids for us to raise.
Now, take the drama up with your mama. Your mama laid down and had that boy. That's your fault. But I can't lie. I gotta be real. I have an uncle who is 4 years younger than me. Yes, it happened. It happens in a lot of black families. They're getting busy, either the grandfathers or the grandmothers or the mothers. In your case, your mother's a grandmother now. Yeah, they're getting busy and they're having their children older than their other children by a considerable amount. Like, for instance, even me, myself. But it wasn't that bad. But I was 17 years older than my younger sister. And that was actually from the same father, right? All the brothers and sisters under me all have the same father. So yes, my mother was procreating very late in life. She had him around like 40. She was pushing 40. I can't do nothing about that. That woman's biological clock was still ticking. and it obliged. It had a baby. But yeah, guys, that's the end of the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we gotta stop the hate against these trad wives. But thank y'all for watching. Peace out. See you next video.